Hey, J-Bone Nation! Shaming of Jay. He's not a dopey dumb bitch. He gets laid. The court jester, the court DJ. It's time to dive into the case. To the case.
Who's singing that?
What do you mean who's singing that? Everyone's
Jay
singing
gets laid by
Hello?
his wife.
By my wife. I should ask him. I'll have to ask him to add by his wife. Actually, I was thinking of asking him.
Having her chime in. She should be
yeah, have her say it. That's a good idea. Yeah, I was actually thinking this morning I should message him and see if he can make a Jay and Bob one, like a little jingle.
Well, hopefully you guys aren't laying each other in that one.
No.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Welcome back. Happy after lunch break. We're all glad you're here. Jay and I up the game and have a much more attractive third partner here. So we up the attractive quotient.
Attractive,
during our lunch,
smarter than us, better looking than us.
All the things,
really up
all
the
the
game,
things,
folks.
Come on,
all the things. How you doing, Bay?
I'm doing good. I'm hoping that you guys will update me on this because I haven't followed this at all. Obviously, I know everything from Lori Daybell, but I was hoping to see what what new things were going to come out through Chad.
So Hermosillo is the first and only witness we've seen thus far. He's still on the stand. Jay believes he's going to probably be on there for the rest of the day. I agree, especially because they have pretty short days. They only have about 2.5 hours left of each court day because they're only going to go to 3:30 Mountain Time out there, and they start at what, Jay? 9:30 or 10:30? Is that 10:30 for them?
No, 8:30. 10:30 my time. So 8:30.
I'm looking over at this table, and I'm pretty sure those are like still all my 10 legal pads of Daybell. I could probably find a Hermosillo over there. I feel like it was a long one in Daybell in Lori.
Yeah.
And look at that, they're ready, and we're ready. You guys ready? It still looks fine with us, the three of us. This is great.
You can see little Hermosillo. It's like he's the fourth one.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you watch Kids in the Hole. Like, I'm squeezing your head, like his
crushing your skull,
head.
crushing your skull,
crushing your skull,
crushing your skull, crush.
Yeah, but yeah, let's continue his testimony. Here we go, folks. We are live.
Had a sidebar with counsel. Previously, a few of the exhibits that were offered and admitted had some reference material on them, base numbers, etc., from the case that the court raised a concern. And I believe, Mr. Wood, what you've done is figured out a way to remove those references from the exhibits. And the court would know those references were not published to the jurors, and they won't be, so the court will permit those references to be removed from the exhibits before they are published or provided to the jurors. Is that how we're going to handle that, Mr. Wood?
Yes, that's my understanding, Your Honor.
All right, and is prior any objection from the defense to proceeding in that manner with those few exhibits?
No objection.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure then that the original court exhibits to the jurors will have that information removed before the jurors are either published the information or receive copies of it. And with that, then I believe there are no other issues to take up before the jurors are brought in. Is the defense ready to proceed as well, Mr. Pryor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Then we'll continue with testimony of this witness. And Mr. Wood, if you're ready, we'll have the jurors brought in at this time.
Thank you.
P.S. I think someone's up there giving a very good warning. I think it's Brooklyn. The trigger we might want to add homicidal violence against children while we're giving warnings.
And actually, you just want to put the ticker up so folks see.
All rise.
The jury is present and counsel.
Thank you. Please be seated.
You know, Bob, I was thinking since this is going to be going to around 5:30 my time, 4:30 your time, one of these days, Scout's going to come on. Got to order some pizza.
Continuing
Oh,
with
yeah.
testimony of Detective Hermosillo.
Yeah,
And
the
Mr.
great
Wood, if you're ready, you can inquire on the witness. You're still under oath for your testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, before we broke, we were speaking about the search of a residence. Can you remind us what residence that was?
But I believe it was apartment 175.
And whose residence was that?
Lord Dallas.
Your Honor, the state would ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibit 7A through 7K.
The witness is handed State's Exhibits 7A through K. They've been reviewed by defense. Mr. Wood, you can inquire.
Detective, do you recognize State's Exhibits 7A through K? Go ahead and take a minute and review them.
Yes, sir.
What do those exhibits purport to be?
They are photographs that were taken of Lord Dallas residence in the morning of November 27th.
And were you present? You testified earlier you were present at the search of that apartment on that date, correct?
That's correct.
Did you walk through every room in that apartment?
Yes, I did.
Did you take these pictures?
No, I didn't.
Do you recognize them as true and accurate representations of what you witnessed in that room that day?
Yes, I did.
Or, I'm sorry, in that apartment that day?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, the state removed for admission State's Exhibits 7A through K.
Any objection from the defense?
What do your native objection?
Yes, and use your microphone, please, Mr. Pryor.
May I judge?
Yes.
Officer, what time were these pictures taken?
I don't know the exact time, roughly between 10 and noon, I would guess.
Are you guessing or do you know?
I don't know exactly what time, sir.
Okay, who took the pictures?
I don't know who took the picture, sir.
What day did they take the pictures?
I believe I testified November 27th, 2019.
Well, if you weren't there, how do you know if you don't know who took it or who?
Objection, he's going to stay in the testimony.
And I'll allow it. You can continue more there.
I never once said I wasn't there. I was there the entire time on
That's not what my question was. The question was, you weren't there when the pictures were taken, were you?
I wasn't there when they were taken. No.
You don't know the condition of the home when the pictures were taken, is that correct?
I was there when the pictures were taken, not standing next to the photographer.
Okay. So you were there when the pictures were taken,
That's correct.
but yet you don't even know who the photographer was who took the pictures. Is that what you're telling me?
That's correct.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't know a photographer who's taking pictures for a police investigation that you're in charge of?
I wasn't standing next to the photographer. I was inside the residence when the photos were being taken. At the same time they were being taken, I wasn't standing next to him.
Okay, but the question I asked is, why is it that you don't know the name of the photographer when this scene was closed off for an investigation pursuant to a search warrant, and you can't tell me who the name of the photographer was who took these pictures?
There were a lot of people that were part of that search warrant. I can't tell you exactly who took the photographs.
Well, that's what my concern is.
Prior, and we're getting speaking objections now. If there's a continuing objection, state the grounds.
Well, there were a number of people that were in and out of that apartment, is that right?
In and out of that apartment? No, sir. In that apartment, yes.
How many people were in the apartment at the same time?
Roughly 10.
And you would know all of the names of the people that were in the apartment, right?
Correct.
Yet you don't know the name of the photographer who took the pictures. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you, yes, sir.
Judge, I'm going to object.
Your Honor, I'm going to lay some more foundation.
All right, you can lay additional foundation. And
Sidebar Dyer?
also know it is a group of photographs, so
What?
work through
Is
them
that Sidebar Dyer
individually.
by-
I'll note just an objection on 7K, and this way you can
I don't know.
see if additional foundation can be laid before I rule on the objection.
Detective, you testified you were present that day,
That's correct.
and you recognize these images as true and accurate representations of what you
While
saw
he's doing his job for him.
in that apartment.
That's correct.
And is it a true and accurate representation of the condition you found the apartment in?
Yes, sir.
And as you look through these pictures, is there anything in there that is different than the way you found it?
No.
Your Honor, the state moves again for the admission.
Objection again, Judge. There isn't a proper foundation. The officer can't even tell me who took the pictures. He doesn't know what time the pictures were taken. And the condition he's talking about is the condition where he saw, not necessarily when the pictures, the condition when the pictures were taken. So there hasn't been a proper foundation here.
All right, I've considered the objection. I'm going to overrule the objection as it relates to photographs finding the officer has personal observation of the location. The one exception that I'll consider a standing objection on is on 7G, which is different, I would say, than just showing the apartment. Not saying it's not admitted, but still under advisement, pending additional objection on foundation. So photographs with the exception of 7G are
Admitted.
admitted.
At first I thought the judge was
Mr. Wood.
Oh,
Thank you, Your Honor. If I could publish those to the jury.
Yes.
So what happened was the defense was going to object, and so they did what's voir dire, they questioned him about it, and then the state was like, all right, I can lay some more foundation. And then the state came back in and asked those last couple of questions, which I thought at first the judge was doing. And I was like, oh, the judge is doing his job for him.
Technically, can you tell me what you observed in State's Exhibit 7A?
That's the front door of apartment 175, front porch area.
Babe, they're streaming it through Zoom. That's why it looks like this.
Ah,
And is this the apartment that you searched?
I can try
you
doing this, but
taken?
it's
Yes.
really much better.
Yeah, because you can see the evidence, sort of.
Detective, what did you observe in State's Exhibit 7B?
So as you walk into the front room of the apartment, that's looking towards the dining kitchen room area. There's the child's car suitcase sitting there. Like I testified earlier, it looked like it was lived in. There's still cups, things on the counter, paper towels, everything looked normal.
No other evidence that a child lives there, of course.
What did you observe in State's Exhibit 7C?
That's standing in the kitchen, facing the doorway, so the opposite direction of last photograph. You can see the stairwell going upstairs. There's still pictures on the wall, TV, papers on the counter. Everything looked normal at that point as well.
This is Lori's apartment. They
Observed in
established
State's
it there
Exhibit
as well.
7D.
I don't
Right.
think so yet.
This is Lori's apartment?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. I mean,
So when I testified about the crawl space under the stairs and the 72-hour kits, those are a few of the 72-hour kits, along with the Star Wars suitcase that we had located.
When Your Honor, does the court have a pointer?
So
I don't know, let's have the bailiff from the, no, we do not, so.
Can you point to what you're referring to, describe the 72-hour kit?
So these black
Hold on a
bags,
second, Mr. Wood, yeah, okay, go ahead.
these black bags with the 72-hour kits, there's some underneath here that you can't see. There's some here, and then that's the Star Wars suitcase that I was referring to earlier.
Detective, what did you observe in State's Exhibit 7E?
That's the top of the stairwell, looking down towards the bottom of the stairwell. This part right here goes into the front room, and the front door is right here.
What did you observe in State's Exhibit 7F?
This is the master bedroom. So when you come up the stairwell, immediately to your left is this entrance here. Like I testified, there was bedding, pillows, everything looked normal in the room at that point. This is a bathroom as well.
Detective, what did you observe in State's Exhibit 7H?
7H is what caused some red flags for us when we were searching the apartment.
Why was that?
Because of all these empty hangers. People go on trips.
Judge, I'm going to object as unresponsive. There isn't a question here, it's a narrative.
Sustained. Detective, I asked you why the empty closet was concerning to you.
Because when we made contact with Lori Vallow the day before, she had lived in the apartment. She was in the apartment living. The very next morning, when we served the warrant, this is what we found, empty hangers.
And Detective, why would empty hangers be concerning to you?
Because it appeared to us that she grabbed her clothes, left everything else, and took off.
What did you observe in States Exhibit 7I?
This was a bedroom. If you walk down the hall towards the west, this is the bedroom on the right-hand side. This is the bedroom we found some of Alex Cox's belongings in. So this is the bedroom to the right.
And what belongings of his did you find there?
There was a plastic tub with some of his belongings in, some hygiene things that had his name on them, things like that.
And what did you observe in States Exhibit 7J?
This is the same bedroom. There's one of the plastic tubs that had some belongings of Alex. There's some prescription pills up here that had Alex's name on them. And then there was some white Tyvek suits that were in the closet area.
What did you observe in States Exhibit 7K?
This is the room to the left. So the previous room was to the right. This is the room to the left. That had twin beds, bedding, everything looked normal in that room as well.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed States Exhibit 7G again for further foundation. Very well. That's if you recognize States Exhibit 7G.
Yes, I do.
What does it purport to be?
A rental agreement with the tenant of Lori Ryan.
And you testified earlier about finding a rental agreement, is that correct?
That's correct.
Is this the rental agreement that you were speaking about?
Yes, it is.
And where was that located in the residence?
In the master bedroom on a desk in the corner.
And you saw it there?
That's correct.
And is that a true and accurate representation of the rental agreement you saw?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I move for admission of States Exhibit 7G.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
All right, Exhibit 7G is admitted as well.
May I publish?
Yes.
Second, is this the rental agreement we were just speaking of?
Yes, it is.
And you testified earlier about searching the storage unit, correct?
Correct.
Was this the rental agreement that led you to that storage unit?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd ask that the witness be handed what's been marked as States Exhibit 8A through 8Q.
Guys, I've said it before. I know the video isn't great, but again, better than getting it at 8 p.m. or whatever time as audio only after the fact, folks. So take what we can get. Tiny little detective on the bottom.
Oh,
Tiny
detective. Look at him. He's so cute. Crash your skull.
Just put him in your pocket on the way out.
Aw, right here. Boop, boop. My pocket detective. I've got a pocket detective inside my pocket. Solving all the cases. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Folks, the trial's going to take 8 to 10 weeks, if you believe that. 8 to 10 weeks is the hold me closer, tiny detective. Nice of you.
Oh, Allie, they're stealing your shit. Tiny dancer, baby. Hold me closer, tiny detective.
Would ruin it. So what happened?
They're just giving evidence to, I guess,
The trial's
Prior-
over, babe. It ended. It was quick.
Pryor and
Nice.
I think every piece that they sent it to over to Pryor, they sent it to the judge, and then they give
All
it
right.
to
So tell me until they start talking again. From your opening, what is so Chad's trying to just blame Lori like he was.
Lori and Alex. Lori's the mastermind. It's basically my theory.
Has he asserted any affirmative defenses? Is he talking about God and
No,
being Jesus or
No.
being?
no,
Oh.
he's not using that carved out
Oh.
ability to use a mental defect to attack the intent portion of the statute. He's not doing any of that. That they said they're putting on 4 experts. The defense is forensic pathologist, DNA expert, and I missed who the second.
Well, additionally, they're calling some of Chad's kids. They didn't say who, but I believe they're calling his kids.
I hope he goes so far off blaming Lori that the prosecution convinces her to come testify against him.
Yeah,
Now
that'd be
that-
great.
That'd be awesome.
See the Wicked Witch on the stand would be amazing.
I mean, if he doesn't blame him, I'd be, like so upset. I don't know. I guess I should.
There's no way.
Evidence.
She's got another trial. She's got the trial, and she's got
Becca, I'm gonna ask you to take a moment and review
Charles
States
Vallows
Exhibit
trial in
8A
Arizona.
through 8M.
I wonder if they argued this pretrial about whether or not what she was doing in her apartment is relevant to his trial at all. Well, did the state talk in the opening about his level, his scales, and his fighting of demons? And
No, I don't think they did, Bob. Not that I remember.
No.
jeez, wow.
The state did it like it was like a book. He was like, chapter 1, this happens. Chapter 2, this, I think, to like kind of a play on Chad's books.
Wow, very creative. I think he's Birdie 81 is right
Jacob, what do you States Exhibit
at that time.
8A through 8M report to be?
Photographs that we had taken in number 175 in the garage.
And what day were these photographs taken?
November 27th, 2019.
And was this a part of the search that you testified to earlier?
Yes,
And you were present in the garage?
that's correct.
Were these items laid out in this manner when you got to the garage?
No,
Were they taken out to be photographed?
yes,
And did you observe that taking place?
I did.
Right. And other than moving those items to be photographed, are these pictures, are these items in the same condition that you observed them that day?
Yes, in the same condition, like I testified to, we manipulated some of them so we can get better photographs.
And are they true and accurate representations of what you observed in the garage of that apartment that day?
Yes,
Your Honor, the state would move for admission of States Exhibit 8A through 8M.
Or, you know.
I'm sorry. I should have said 8L.
Any objection as it relates to 8A through L?
Judge, what do you ready to objection?
Very well.
Officer, as before, were you present when the pictures were taken?
yes,
What was the name of the person who took the pictures?
Detective Daybell.
Were you present at the exact time the pictures were taken of all of these items?
Yes, I was.
Who else was present at the time that these pictures were taken?
I couldn't tell you who else was in the room.
Well, we were in a garage, weren't we?
Couldn't tell you who else was in the garage.
Were there so many people there that you don't know?
No, I
Your
just,
Honor, this doesn't go to foundation.
I'll allow one more board dire if you wish, Mr. Pryor, continue.
So many people in the garage, you didn't know who was there?
I just can't recall their names at this.
They're not officers that work with you?
They are.
How big of a garage are we talking about?
I couldn't testify to that.
2-car garage, 1-car garage?
Mr. Pryor, I think we're getting across here. Is this a foundation objection still?
Judge, I'm trying to establish. Judge, I'll move on. Save it.
All right, the court's considered foundation objection as it relates to exhibits A through L. I'll overrule the objection and those may be admitted.
Thank you, Matt Publish.
Yes.
I wish we could fast forward to a more interesting witness. I mean, I know this stuff is important, like to get the evidence in, but
What did you observe in State's Exhibit 8A?
Yeah, like Bob said, we need Melanie Gibb.
So when I testified earlier about
Zulema's a good one.
various magazines, weapons,
most of their shit was
there were knives. This is where we found those items. And
I
this,
just want to stop you real quick to clarify, when you say magazines, what type of magazine are you referring to?
magazines that go in rifles.
And you testified that you removed these items to take pictures of.
Correct.
And what did you observe in State's Exhibit 8A?
So here's some of the various magazines that we took out of some of the tubs. There's some ammunition. There's a few suppressors that screw on to the end of a gun to muffle the sound. There's a ghillie suit. Different items in this photo that I spots it.
Could you tell me what you observed in State's Exhibit 8B?
So these were items that were located in black plastic bags, which are right here that I'm pointing to. So we simply took those items out of these plastic bags and laid them out so we can get photographs of them.
What did you observe in State's Exhibit 8C?
These are various caliber ammunition in plastic bags that were located in plastic tubs. in the garage.
Didn't say ammunition, those are for bullets, correct?
Correct.
You're barking at that phone? It's not time.
What did you observe in State's Exhibit 8D?
This was one of the rifles that we had located in the garage in apartment 175. It's got duct tape here. What you can't see up top. is-
Judge, unresponsive.
Mistake. I'm gonna move the picture so you can see the top. What did you observe at the top of State's Exhibit 8D?
Like I was testifying to, at the top of this rifle, it's threaded for a suppressor to muffle the sound of a gunshot.
What did you observe in State's Exhibit 8E?
This rifle here is the exact same rifle from the previous picture. There's also another rifle that was in a bag, and that's this one here. This photograph was taken at the police department once we got the items back.
It's not
What
Bob.
did you observe in States Exhibit 8F?
Where people talk about typing?
This is
Yes.
the rifle.
I think that was me, maybe. Sorry.
We all think it was you.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm getting out of control with the typing. Sorry.
Somebody was like, I went to another channel and I didn't hear any
What
type.
did you observe in States Exhibit 8G?
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I won't do it again. I promise.
Those are what I call the suppressors. From earlier that there was a photograph of these two men on the garage floor. This is just a close up of both of those suppressors.
Oh, Jay.
I won't do it again. I
What did you
promise
observe
you.
in States
They
Exhibit
all
8H?
still love you. They all still adore you.
I got a message
These are
and I got
knives that
excited,
were
guys. I'm very
found
sorry.
amongst the ammunition in the rifles and tubs.
I'm not clicking on it.
Can you describe for the jury what you observed in States Exhibit 8I? Okay.
This is just a handgun that was also located that was still in the case inside the garage.
Did you observe in States Exhibit 8J?
This is a Halloween mask, or what we think is a Halloween mask, that was located in a plastic bag in the garage along with duct tape and rope.
You described for the jury what you observed in States Exhibit 8K.
Once we remove the Halloween mask, this is the duct tape and the rope I was referring to in a Walmart bag.
Arnie, what did you observe in States Exhibit 8L?
That is a passport that's located in belongings in that garage belonging to Alex Cox.
Karen would like to thank herself for the sticker, everybody.
In your honor, I'd ask the witness be handed States Exhibit 8M through 8Q.
Where in the world?
For
Tiny detective. There he is. Aw. Sweet little guy.
While they bring up are they bringing up more evidence? Is that what's happening now? While they do this, I got to give you guys a little backstory right now because you're wondering probably why I'm laughing. I did an interview the other night, and this woman named Karen, who's in the chat right now. Hey, Karen. Hi, Karen. You're going to be shocked to know that this woman named Karen emailed me 8 times after the interview was over from 10 p.m. to 1 in the morning. Hold on.
810 through 8.
Sorry, 10 p.m. in the morning, 10 p.m. after my interview to 1 a.m. emailed me 8 times with a lot of problems she had about my interview. And then after I didn't respond to her emails, her 8 emails, she paid me twice with super stickers saying, "Did you see my emails? Did you see my emails?" I haven't responded. She just came in the chat and paid for another super sticker. "Did you see my emails?" And then she said, "Thanks, Karen, for the sticker," thanking herself for getting the super chat for me. So it's been a wild ride. Sorry for everyone.
Do you recognize those exhibits?
Yes, I do.
What do they purport to be?
These are items also located in the garage 175. What we go through each.
Not yet. Did you observe these items with your own eyes?
Yes, I did.
And you saw these on November 27th during your search of apartment 175?
Correct.
And says that
You testified they were
John
also in
Pryor's
the
voice
garage.
reminds her of Buffalo Bill.
That's correct.
I saw that.
Are these true and
I'd
accurate
fuck me.
representations
I'd
of what you observed that day?
It
puts
puts lotion in the
Your
basket.
Honor, I move for the admission of State's Exhibit
It puts the
8M.
lotion on its skin.
Good cue.
Real quick, Bob. I just found out who Buffalo Bill the actor is from a. Did you see my tweet about this?
No, dude. Are you kidding me? Alice and I have watched like the entire Monk
No, no,
series
no.
like 3
Oh.
times.
Never mind. You knew. All right.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. So I'm the only one who didn't know that Captain Stottlemyre in Monk is
Yeah.
Buffalo Bill. I'm the only guy. Don't
Yeah.
tell me. Put
The
it in
only
the
fucking
chat
guy
right
on
now.
the planet that didn't know
Put it
that.
in the chat right now if you just found out recently that Buffalo Bill is Captain Leland Stottlemyre. I'm the only person in the universe that didn't know that? Come on.
Yeah.
How is
Like
that possible?
Immediately upon seeing the first episode of Monk, I'm like, oh, it's Buffalo Bill.
Son of a bitch.
He's really turned the corner.
Go ahead. Officer, you previously testified that I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you staged certain items. Is that a fair assessment?
Here we go. Thank you,
Correct.
folks.
And some of the items that you staged, and when I mean staged, did you remove those from packages or boxes, and you laid them out to take pictures, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you take pictures of all the items in the garage, or are these just selected pictures that you've decided to show today?
We took photographs of the items in the garage, anything that we thought was evidentiary value, we took photographs of.
Okay, so the question is, the answer is then that you did not take pictures of everything that was in the garage. Is that fair?
No objection, Your Honor. This is cross, doesn't build a foundation of these items.
I do sustain that. We need to be on the narrow issue of foundation for admission or not, and we need to be allowed to cross later, of course, it's provided, no questions on
So the
foundation.
question is that when I hear previously that you took items out of a package and you took pictures of select items, did you take all of these items out of some sort of packaging
All right.
and
Somebody call me
take
back.
select pictures of these as well?
Yes, we took these out of.
What?
Call me back when it gets interesting. Bob can let me know.
You gotta go?
Wow.
All right.
Wow. How lucky she gets to
See you
dip.
guys later.
She
Bye.
gets
Bye.
to dip
Everyone
when
say
it's
bye to
boring.
Allie.
Man. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Tubs that were in the garage, we took photos of.
So when you were there and present going through the garage, and we don't know how big this garage is because you don't know. You couldn't see these in plain sight when you went through them, correct?
That's correct.
So you don't know what was in the garage and what wasn't. These were staged by someone else who took the pictures, is that correct?
We took these out of tubs and took photographs of them.
Who took them out of the tubs?
I couldn't tell you what officer took them out of the tubs.
When did they take them out of the tubs?
Are you asking for a time, sir?
I'm asking for a time, yeah.
Roughly 10 to 12, I would say.
In the afternoon, in the morning, when?
10 o'clock in the morning, till 12 noon.
And you were present when they were taking these out of the tubs?
That's correct.
And who took these pictures of us?
Detective O.
Judge, I have nothing else. Thank you.
All right, I'll rule an objection on foundation relating to exhibits 8M through Q, and those will be made.
Thank you. May I have a question?
You know,
Phew. There's a lot of exhibits, Jay Bird.
Detective, can you describe to the jury what you observed in State's Exhibit 8M?
Aw, thanks, Jersey Jen. We love you.
We do. Jersey Jones is a good one.
Good egg.
That is what appears to be
All our
an
folks
email
have great eggs.
printed item that was located in the garage of 175. There's some handwritten scribbles on it, some names, numbers associated with those names.
And at the time that you found those documents, did you understand what that meant?
No,
Were you able to determine, you said it was an email, who the sender of the email was?
yes,
Who was it?
Daybell.
Were you able to determine who the recipient of the email was?
It was
I don't recall the recipient,
Storm.
just who sent it.
Oh, I apologize.
Storm at AOL.com.
I just remember who sent the email.
And were you able to tell what date it was sent?
I believe it was October of 2018.
Is there a specific date?
I would have to look at it a little closer. It's in the upper left-hand corner.
Second, I'm going to have States Exhibit 8, and if you can describe what you observed there for the jury.
It's the same photograph from the last slide.
And States Exhibit 8 vote. Or is you vote, sorry.
That's also more of the same email papers from the last slide.
In fact, if I were to have States Exhibit 8 and that, would you be able to tell the date of the email?
Yes.
What is the date on that email?
October 30th, 2018.
And then, Detective, what did you observe in States Exhibit 8P?
Those were also in the tub books written by Chad Daybell.
And then lastly, what did you observe in States Exhibit 8Q?
That was a cell phone that was also found in the tub in the garage.
Were you able to look and get that cell phone at any time?
As far as forensically,
Yes.
I wouldn't be able to tell you unless I looked at the report.
Okay.
Looks like it.
Detective, we've been talking about this search on November 27th, correct?
Correct.
And at any time that day, did you locate JJ Bell?
No.
What was the next step in your investigation to find JJ?
Our next step was to talk to anybody that would take our phone calls. JJ was,
Judge, I'm going to object. This is again becoming a narrative.
Your Honor, you're still just answering the basic question.
Overruled that objection.
JJ was who we were looking for. And so we were exhausting every effort to find JJ. So we would call his siblings, family members, any family friends, anybody that might know whereabouts JJ.
So who were some of those family members that you spoke with?
We ended up speaking with Brandon Boudreaux, Melanie Boudreaux, JJ's brother.
Jay, is that you?
Ryan,
Pounding away again.
You could hear that?
Gilbert
Yes,
Reese ended up
What
speaking
the
with family
fuck?
members
You got
down
hammer
there.
fingers, bro.
Mayonnaise.
You're like the cat
At
meme.
any time during
I'm
the
gonna just mute it every
investigation,
time. I thought
did
that
the
was
scope
low.
of the
Like cat
search
GIF or
change
GIF,
with who you were
whatever.
looking for?
It did. After
Why
we,
was that?
after we spoke with Colby Ryan, who is JJ's brother, he mentioned that he
Judge,
had,
I'm gonna object. This is hearsay.
Sustained. Detective, at any time did the scope of your search change to include the search for Tidy Lane?
it did.
And so let's go back to your search
I
very
hate
briefly on November
Not
27th.
that loud.
Did you see Tidy Ryan at that apartment at any time?
No,
And during your intermittent surveillance you talked about in early November, had you seen Tidy Ryan?
Yes.
no,
Did you ever meet Tidy Ryan?
no,
Did you become familiar with who she was through your investigation?
yes, we did.
How did you do that?
After speaking with Colby, our search encompassed JJ and Tylee.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask the witness be handed State's Exhibit 5.
Guys, I cannot believe it was fucking me the whole time. I'm so
Wow.
sorry. I will
Wow.
mute. I will mute from now on.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
right now, do you hear me typing right now? Oh, what'd I just do? Oh no, I just messed
Just
up my-
deleted the whole stream. Nice job, Jay Bird. Wow. Wow.
Wait a minute, it was you all the time?
Yeah, babe, it was me the whole time.
Oh my God, babe.
We told you, man. We told you.
Told you, but I didn't see your hands.
No, I believe this comes in by
Oh, I
stipulation.
did.
Babe
Yes,
can't
Judge,
believe it.
we've stipulated the admission.
I saw it early, man.
The
I was
counsel
like,
would be so kind as
Jay's
to
claiming it's not
include
him, but I see his
the
ass
exhibit
typing.
number from Nikki's.
Five.
I
Thank
can't
you.
believe it was me.
Exhibit 5 has been offered and admitted. You can proceed, Mr. Wood.
Thank you. Detective, do you recognize State's Exhibit 5?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a birth certificate issues out of the state of Texas.
Your Honor, may I publish that for the jury?
No objection.
But
Oh, you got ready? Okay.
Detective, were you able to read that on the screen?
Yes,
If you could point out with your pointer the name of the individual or who that birth certificate applies.
the name is Tylee Ashland,
And what was the date of her birth?
September 24th, 2002,
And where was she?
Travis County, Texas.
And just for purposes of the record, can you state who her father was?
Joseph Anthony Ryan Jr.,
And who was her mother?
Lori Noreen Cox.
Through your investigation, have you learned of Lori Vallow's maiden name?
Yes,
What was it?
Cox.
Okay. So Detective, you testified that at this point you were approximately when did the scope of your search widen to include Tylee Ryan?
It was after we spoke with Colby on December 11th, 2019. We entered JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan into what we call NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So on December 11th, 2019, we entered both of those children as missing and endangered.
How does NCMEC work?
It's a center where
I'm going to object at this point on foundation.
And lack
Mr.
thereof.
Wood, if there's any additional foundation, I agree it hasn't been.
Okay. Can you restate again what the acronym NCMEC stands for?
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
And is that associated with a government entity?
It is.
Do you know which entity?
I don't.
Have you ever used NICMIC before in your job as a detective?
Yes.
How have you used it before?
When we have missing children, we enter and call NICMIC, enter the information, and it goes into a database.
Mr. Wood, for the record, could you indicate what that acronym is?
Yes, Your Honor, it's NCMEC.
Thank you.
If you'd like, the detective, can you just state what that stands for again?
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Did you include any other law enforcement agencies in this search?
We did. After November 27th, we reached out for assistance from the FBI. We reached out through Fremont County. So we were in contact with Gilbert Police, Chandler Police, anywhere down there where JJ or Tylee lived or could possibly be at.
And did you ever try to contact Lori Daybell in regards to the whereabouts for children?
Absolutely.
How did you do that?
We tried contacting Lori by her cell phone. We also attempted to contact.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. Were you able to talk to her?
No, her cell phone was shut off.
Did you ever attempt to contact Chad Daybell in regards to the location of the children?
Yes, we did.
How did you do that?
We attempted to contact him through his cell phone.
And were you able to get in touch with him?
No, it was also shut off.
And at any time, did Lori Vallow ever call the Rexburg police to report missing children?
Judge, objection. Foundation.
Response, Mr. Wood?
Your Honor, it's just a basic question, but I think it's in line with the question we've been going through. I don't know what additional foundation I can make for that.
The foundation is overruled. Witness can answer.
Did you ask that again, please?
Did Lori Vallow ever contact the Rexburg police, to your knowledge, regarding missing children?
No, she didn't.
Did Chad Daybell ever contact the Rexburg police regarding missing children?
And I'll renew my objection, Judge. Knowledge foundation.
It's overruled.
No, he didn't.
Detective, when you place the children in the NICMIC database, you receive tips from that.
Yes, we set up tip hotlines through NICMIC, also through the FBI and through the Rexburg Police Department. So anybody with any information on those two missing children would call any one of those numbers and provide us with any information.
And did you ever receive tips through NICMIC regarding JJ Vallow, Tyler Learning?
Yes, we did.
What would you do when you received those tips?
When we would receive the tips, we would assign it a tip number. And those tips were followed up on by detectives or other officers. So as soon as those tips came in, they were given a number and then assigned to an officer or detective to follow.
And would those tips, when they come in, do they have a phone number associated with them?
A lot of times they did have a phone number. A lot of them were anonymous. They didn't want to get involved. So some of them had phone numbers where we could follow up, others didn't.
And if someone submits an anonymous tip through NICMIC, is there anything you can do to follow up on that?
It depends on the information they gave us, but we would follow up with any information that they had put on the tip.
And when a tip comes in with a phone number, would you call those individuals back?
Yes.
Did you ever alert the public that the children were missing?
We did. We held a press conference on November 20th, 2019, and alerted the public that we had 2 missing children in our area.
And after that press release came out, did you receive tips after that?
Yes, we did.
And did you follow up on those tips as well?
Yes, we did.
Did any of those tips ever lead you to finding JJ Vallow?
No,
Did any of those tips lead you to finding Ty Ryan?
no.
Detective, regarding Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, are you aware if a child protection action was filed in Madison County?
Yes, it was.
Were you involved with that?
I was the one who wrote the affidavit.
And what was the purpose of that action?
Judge, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what the officer's response is. I was the one who wrote the affidavit. Thank you.
You want to ask questions?
I will, I just letting the witness read the water.
Holy shit.
Detective, what was the purpose of that affidavit?
To get Lori to produce her children to the Rexburg Police Department or the Department of Health.
And are you aware if there was an order issued in that child protection action?
There was.
What did it order?
It ordered Lori Vallow to produce her children within 5 days of being served at court order.
Detective, were you ever able to locate Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow?
Yes, we were.
How did you do that?
A few different ways. Some of the tips that came in gave us location in Kauai, also through cell phone data.
Judge, can I have some foundation as to time, date, location?
Are there foundational objections, Mr. Wood?
I'll just ask some more questions, Your Honor.
Very well.
Approximately when did you learn about the location of Chad and Lori?
Beginning of January of 2020.
And you stated earlier, but what kind of tips gave you that information?
Eyewitnesses that would call in that said they saw Lori and Chad on the island of Kauai.
And where is Kauai?
In Hawaii.
Did you ever write warrants to aid or apply for warrants to aid you in finding Chad and Lori?
Yes.
What kind of warrants were those?
We wrote warrants for cell phone data, geofence location, a few different warrants through cell phone companies to assist us in finding Chad and Lori or their location.
And did any of the data you received from those help you locate them?
Yes, it did.
Detective, did you ever go to Kauai as part of your investigation?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do when did you get there?
I got to Kauai January 24th, 2020.
And once you got there, what was the purpose of going there?
We went there to aid and assist the Kauai Police Department in serving that court order to produce JJ Tylee to the Rexburg Police Department.
And did you see Chad and Lori Daybell in Kauai?
Yes, we did.
You mentioned assisting the Kauai Police Department in serving that order. Are you aware if Lori Vallow was served with that order?
Yeah, she was on January 25th, 2019, correction, 2020.
While you were in Kauai, did you do anything else?
We observed the Kauai Police Department serve 2 search warrants One on Chad and Lori's condo, and the other on the rental vehicle.
Did you perform those searches as well, or just observe the Kauai Police Department do it?
No, we just observed and we let them search.
Do you recall where their condominium was located in Kauai?
I don't recall the physical address, but it was Princeville.
And is that a town or city in Kauai?
Yes.
When you observed the search of the residents they were living in Princeville, after the Kauai Police Department did their search, were you able to walk through that residence?
Yes, I was.
All right. What did you observe at that residence?
Everything looked normal. It appeared two adults were living there. There were beach towels, two beach towels. Everything was in pairs. Food in the fridge, couches. Everything seemed ordinary.
Did you see JJ Vallow there?
No,
Did you see Tyler Ryan there?
no,
Did you see anything that would have indicated to you that a child was living there?
no, I didn't.
Did you observe anything that would have indicated to you that a teenager was living there?
No,
Detective, to your knowledge, did Lori Vallow ever produce her children to the Rexburg Police Department or the Department of Health and Welfare?
no, she didn't.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibit 6. You recognize State's Detective, do you recognize State's Exhibit 6?
Yes, I do.
What does it purport to be?
It's a photograph of Tyler Ryan.
Did you have, as part of your search, did you look at Tyler Ryan's social media?
Yes, we did.
To your knowledge, was this image obtained from her social media?
It was taken from her Instagram account.
And so as part of your search, did you personally observe her Instagram account?
Yes, I did.
And did you personally observe this image on her Instagram account?
Yes, I did.
Is this a true and accurate representation of what you observed on her Instagram account?
Yes,
And also, as part of your investigation, did you see other pictures of Tyler Ryan?
yes, I did.
And is this individual, is that a true and accurate representation of Tyler Ryan?
Yes,
Your Honor, the state would move for State's Exhibit 6 to be entered into evidence.
No objection, Judge.
Very well. Exhibit 6 has been offered and admitted without objection, so it's in the record and will be published if you wish, Mr. Board.
Thank you. Detective, is this the exhibit we were just speaking of?
yes, it is.
What was the username on the account that you found that picture in?
Tyler A. Ryan.
Okay. And this individual is the Tyler Ryan that you came to recognize through your search.
That's correct.
Detective, I want to ask you about the phrase proof of life. Are you familiar with that phrase?
I am.
As a detective, what does that mean to you?
Proof of life is any documentation, any video, photograph, anything that we can use to show the last time somebody was saw alive or seen alive.
Pursuant to your investigation, did you find a last known proof of life for Tyler Ryan?
Yes, I did.
How did you locate that?
that was taken from Lori Vallow's iCloud account.
And what, do you know which iCloud account it was taken from?
Lori for Style at iCloud.com.
And what was the form of that proof of life?
It was a photograph of Tylee taken at West Yellowstone.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask the state or the witness behind State's Exhibit 29A, 29B, and 13. And I believe these come in by way of stipulation.
All right, take a look, defense for me as well.
While they hand the evidence, I gotta thank Pilola's mom just sent a coffee that said, thanks to you, the mods and chat family, always a warm welcome, much appreciated. Thank you so much, Pilola's mom. And Ayana
Judge, that's correct. By way of
and Vidi just
stipulation.
sent a $10 cash app. Thank you,
I'll just
Ayana.
review those briefly and we'll have a quick sidebar with counsel.
Sure.
And we got a sidebar. I'm going to tell you something funny, guys. What I should have realized probably, Bob, listen, in this program, if I try to talk and my mic is muted, it says your mic is muted because it senses the noise. I probably should have realized as I was typing when it did that I was that my mic was picking up. Sorry, guys. I won't let it happen again.
Be submitted to the witness. And I will note that exhibits 29A and B and exhibit 13 are all admitted without objection. You can proceed, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. Detective, would you look at State's Exhibit 13? What does that report to be?
That is the photograph taken from Lori Styles' iCloud account. They testified to earlier with Tylee and West Yellowstone.
If I may publish.
Yes.
You can just identify the individuals in that photograph, Detective.
Sure. The little boy is J.J. Vallow. The Tylee Ryan's in the middle, and their uncle Alex Cox is on the right.
And as part of this exhibit, did it contain metadata?
Yes, it did.
And did the metadata in this instance, well, can you describe to the jury what metadata is?
Sure. Metadata is like a time and date. It has a time and date stamp with the photograph that's taken. So it's just data associated with the photograph.
And this photo was accompanied by metadata?
That's correct.
And what date was this photograph taken?
September 8th, 2019 at 2:49 p.m.
And you testified earlier that this was in Yellowstone.
Yes,
How do you know that that's Yellowstone?
I've been there.
So you personally recognize that location?
Correct.
Detective, revisiting this idea of proof of life. Throughout your investigation, were you ever able to find photographs dated later than that of Tylee Ryan living?
No.
And can you describe just quickly where you found that photograph?
from the iCloud account associated with Lord.
And I believe you already said it, but just for purposes of the record, what was the name of that iCloud?
Lori for Style at iCloud.com.
And how do you know that that account was associated with Lori Vallow?
The information attached to it and also the photographs that were attached to it.
And when you say photographs, what type of photographs led you to believe that that was attached to Lori Vallow?
Family photographs, Lori Vallow's photographs with her in the photos.
Detective, pursuant to your investigation, are you aware of a last known proof of life for J.J. Bell?
Yes, I am.
Your Honor, asked this, the witness be handed State's Exhibit 14, which I believe also comes in by way of stipulation.
You come on the record again, Mr. Wood, that it's been stipulated to and admitted if it is. Is there an objection to the 14 minute?
No, Judge, it was entered by stipulation of parties.
14 is admitted.
Detective, what is State's Exhibit 14?
That is a photograph of JJ sitting on a couch in what appears to be the front room of apartment 175.
And where did you locate this picture?
That was also on Lori for Style, iCloud.com.
And you mentioned you believe you recognize the location. I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yes, it appears to be the front room sitting on a couch that was found in Lori Vallow's apartment, apartment 175.
And did this picture have, well, may I publish it for the jury, Your Honor?
You know,
Can you just describe to the jury what you observed in State's Exhibit 14?
That's JJ Vallow sitting on the couch in red pajamas.
And did this picture, was this picture accompanied by metadata?
It was,
Is this the metadata that accompanied that picture?
yes.
What was the date of that picture?
September 22nd, 2019,
And you know what time of day it was taken?
11:46 a.m.
And just to clarify, what iCloud account was that picture taken from?
Also, Lori for Style, iCloud.com.
So Detective, you testified earlier that, an order was served on Lori Vallow to produce her children.
Correct.
And I believe you already testified that she did not produce her children.
Correct.
What was the next step in your investigation after that?
Our next step in that investigation was to reach out to anybody that would possibly know where JJ was.
Who would you reach out to?
We reached out to family, the FBI, other agencies, anybody that would take our calls, tips that were coming in.
Detective, while you were doing this investigation, Were you aware of any investigation in Fremont County regarding Tammy Daybell?
Yes,
And what did you know? Were you a part of that investigation?
I was a part of it, but my focus was mainly JJ and Tyler.
And what was the investigation in Fremont County regarding?
A suspicious death involving the defendant Daybell's wife.
And as part of your investigation, did you know when she had died?
Yes,
When was that?
October 19th of 2019.
You testified that your primary focus was locating Tylee and JJ, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, we just have a very brief sidebar.
So, yes.
And another sidebar. What is this about?
Sidebar.
Thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate you watching this with us. We know you have other options. If you could hit that like button, that would be wonderful. Tell your friends.
Tell your neighbors.
Tell your enemies. We don't care. Tell everyone.
We don't care. Look, sidebars are typically issues revolving around whatever current thing the state's trying to get into right now that, you know, they have to argue in front of the judge without the jury being able to hear about it. But it's typically more than an objection. You know what I mean? Like typically there's going to be a situation where it would be the equivalent to a long speaking objection, which some people hate. Some judges hate speaking objections. So that's oftentimes why you'll call a sidebar or ask for a sidebar.
Well, I'm going to show you. Penny has had her dinner already, but she always gets like an after dinner snack. And there she is, very angry at me. I wonder if I can make this full screen for a second.
Jay,
there she is.
Seems to hate you right now. It
She's
seems like beyond anger. It seems like hatred.
Yeah, she makes a point to look. First, she'll like kind of come up to me, and then she's got to show me that she's sad. She's not looking at me. She's not acknowledging me because she wants her after dinner snack, which I guess I can't blame her.
I mean, I don't blame her. I'd hate you too if I were her. I haven't seen my guy. I don't know where my guy is. Knock.
Does he get an after dinner like a little snack after like a hour?
Just powder in general. Like if he hasn't gone out for his walk yet, dude is like, he's unconsolable. Walks around depressed, his tail down, sits there and puts his head on the arm of a chair and just stares at me.
Yes, ours do that too. Yes.
Making me feel guilty. Oh, I'm like, dude.
To make every effort to be concluding trial each day at 3:30, including today. We are going to take our mid-afternoon break at this time. And just for your reference as well, in case I forget to mention, we'll be going through evidence and testimony again tomorrow, scheduled 8:30 to 3:30. And then with some scheduling issues, we are going to not be holding court on Friday. And so we'll be back on Monday. I just want to make you aware of that schedule as well.
Friday off.
We'll go until 3:30 today, but at this time we will take our break. So if we can try to keep the break to 20 minutes, I appreciate it. And with that, I'll apologize for the jury.
Break time?
Break time, except he's again not going to tell us how long this break is, but
20 minutes. 20 minutes, he said. I heard.
Oh, he did say 20 minutes?
Yeah. At max.
So that is, and then again, we got an hour left, folks. Every day is going to end 3:30 their time, Mountain Time, and Friday they are off, folks. We are not going to have trial on Friday.
Yeah, Kat, they did just have an hour lunch. I think you should write a letter to the judge. Dear sir, we don't approve of your massive amount of breaks, especially right after lunch. Signed, concerned citizen.
Oh, look, guys, hold on. They just quickly had the camera on the detective, but Actually, I can rewind if you guys want to see full size Detective Hermosillo. I'm going to show you right now because I know that some of the ladies are a fan of
Detective Hermosillo.
Hermosillo. There he is, folks. I mean, he's still kind of at the zoom cam, but at least he's not really tiny with the little zoom cam there.
He's got that real Kojak vibe going on, doesn't he?
He does. He does.
All he needs is that lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop, oh, 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 lollipop.
Yeah, guys. So that Karen that emailed me has emailed me again. And if you want to know what she's so upset about, if you want to know why this Karen who emailed me 8 times after my interview, because we have a emoji that says puta on it with a heart, because and it's based on the undercover detective who did not say it with any accent. He was like puta, and it was like not. So after that, we started using it because I Googled how Google says puta, and it's really funny. And she's like, "You guys are racist because you're using that." And I'm like, "Why is that great?" So anyway, she emailed me 8 times. She paid me 3 times so far with super chats if I've seen the emails. And then she just emailed me again and then sent a comment again that people don't like to be laughed at. So if you're watching right now and you can't comment because I'm done with you and I blocked you, but it was real Karen. Thank you for the 3 super chats and the 10 emails, I think now. Thank you, Karen.
Wow.
Not doing good for the namesake, Bob. You would think maybe for other Karens to like try to get rid of that stigma, but she had her own agenda.
She was all about it. She was all about doing some Karening, some hard Karening.
Hardcore Karen.
I'm going to really dig into this Karening I'm doing right now. Boy, she would have really hated when you were having the robot say puta.
Yeah, she would have really hated that.
She would have really hated it. Puta. Allie private chatted us. What was racist?
Using puta. We have an emoji, Allie. Puta. There we got MJ, whose birthday is tomorrow. Boswell was talking. I just love you all at J-Bo Nation. Thank you for bringing me luck. Did I see in the chat, MJ, that you won some concert tickets? We gave you some luck. That's exciting news. MJ's birthday is tomorrow, so happy early birthday for MJ. Karen called this, the same Karen called the society page a backstabber. She also goes after fancy fiction. She's out there, folks, giving people a hard time. JBN FTW, which is not fuck the world, I learned recently.
For the win. For the win.
Is your chat still behind, Bob? If you're looking at your screen, is it still?
Yeah, my chat says, let me see. Let me get it. Yeah, man, dude, it's like 226 it's at. Now the one that I can see on the screen with us is up to date. I can't see if anybody's like giving us super stickers or gifting.
Yeah, that you gotta look at your own, like, yeah. Which, speaking of, we just got one from Amanda the. Thank you so much, Amanda the.
Amanda coming through in the clutch. I was just reading through Reddit, and there was
Reddit, man. It's
rough, bro.
It is rough out there. What were you on? What, on Delphi or?
Yeah, it was on Delphi, but it was like a pro us like stream. But there was one guy. He's like, dude, sick, I hate when Bob sits there begging for money. I'm like, dude, we thank people.
Always
thank people. I never sit here saying, "Oh, please send us money." Like, never. But when people send us money, we of course thank them because we're not giant assholes and we're civilized. Exactly. I mean, I'm like, what is this guy talking about, man? I mean, it's like, what is the expectation there? You know?
Oh, look at that, Bob. Amanda, who gave me a $5, just gave you a $5. Amanda, thank you, Amanda.
Amanda, man, that is the sweetest thing ever.
You know what's wild to me, Bob, that we both, I'm sure, get this shit, is like that we should not be, if you're covering the stuff, you should not be making any money because you're making money off of And it's like, so should Law and Crime not have a network? Should 2020 and Dateline, should no one make any, like, should there not be money made on anything that happens? Like, people are get so upset about that, and I'm like, well, what? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I know. It's weird. It's weird. It's like every single thing that you see on television, aside from like public television, like PBS, is for profit. Every single thing. I mean, that's what commercials are for. Now commercials have invaded like Hulu, like all the things.
Everywhere.
I mean, if you're watching Netflix, you pay a subscription fee. I mean, it's like, this is work, dude. Like, I'm not going to apologize to people. If people are kind enough to send us donations for us doing what we do. I mean,
Right.
it's weird. I don't know.
Kim68, speaking of Kim68, who just said the sun just came up, and Kim in the future in Australia just sent a super chat up to $2 Australian. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
Thank you so much, Kim.
I love our Aussie and UK friends. They're
Same.
amazing. Yeah.
Babe, Bob.
Aw,
I just called you
hey,
babe.
that's
Babe
the funniest
Mata.
thing ever.
Bob,
Thanks,
do
buddy.
you ever break down your analytics and look at like your other countries? Like, what are you
Oh, yeah.
like? What's your like after the US? What's the next one?
It's a real close fight between UK and Australia. And I've got, like, on the podcast, I've got a huge following in the UK and Australia.
Nice.
Like, really, really big. Yeah, I mean, like the pod, I've got, I don't know, we've got well over 150,000 like listeners. So it's like,
That's awesome.
that's it's huge.
What about Canada?
Canada, yeah, for sure. I always look at that as North America. You know what I mean? Just kind of in general. I don't even differentiate between Canada and the US, like as far as listeners, because it's just one big continent. How do you? Yeah, I assume you got some pretty good metrics over Australia and the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta check right now. Let's see. Let's go to the old analytics tab. Let's go to audience. Let's go to, where is it? Where you see what country they're from. Oh, here we go. All right, so I can show you guys. Let's see. Share this tab instead. Go to here. All right. I don't know if we can see this on. No, it's maybe if I. Nope, that didn't help. Let me take off the. Why can't I see the whole freaking screen?
I can't see shit, man.
Me either. Oh, there we go. All right, so United States in one, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, India, South Africa, Netherlands, and that's the last 28 days. Let's make it for the entire time that I've been doing this. So, the majority of my views here, 2 mil, are
the US,
United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, South Africa. That's kind of surprising to me.
That's the Grizzlies, man. The Grizzlies coming through.
Oh, wow.
That's Gazella and her wonderful crew. They're South Africa. A lot of South African fans down there. She's actually moved to, I think she moved to Switzerland.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Ireland, nice.
A little behind the scenes, folks.
What do you got in Scotland? You got any? Oh, some Italians. Hey, paisan. I like that J guy. He's good.
Malaysia, isn't that where I'll forever think of Zoolander, the Prime Minister of Malaysia?
Yeah. Some Finlanders. Portugal, the man. Nice.
Portugal.
Yeah. Oh,
Trinidad and Tobago. These are probably bots. Who even knows?
Oh, that's Nepal. Cool. That's cool, man. Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Prestige worldwide, man. Prestige worldwide. Boats and hose. Boats and hose.
Oh, Miss Shorty, there she is. Whoops, she just $7.99 Australian dollars. Good day, LOL. Actually, no one says that. So hey, Lisa.
No one says good day anymore.
From
They
the
used
future.
to though, right? That was like real, or was that just Crocodile Dundee made that shit up? That was like a movie line gimmick.
I wonder what Miss Shorty. What do the Australians think of Crocodile Dundee? Are they a fan of that? I wonder. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
I love that movie when I was a
That
young
was a good
buzz.
movie.
Yeah, when I was a youngster, man, it was my jam.
And correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but if didn't the actor end up marrying? He was married, but then he got divorced and married his co-star or something like that. I don't know. I feel like that was a thing.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
No, court is not over. They are on a 20-minute break, and then court will be over at 5:30 Eastern time, so in about 50 minutes. Jen says yes. I think that is correct.
Are you guys keeping an eye on the Mew trial?
Yeah, if there's a verdict, we can always go to that. I mean, I have no problem doing that.
If I had a lazy eye, I'd just keep this TV on over to my left and I'd just watch that.
Sure, you can ask Bob a question. Rachel says, Bob, looking for Tiny Detective, maybe.
Tiny Detective. Yeah, no, absolutely. Anybody in either stream, if Allie and I are if we're on, we love getting the questions. It's our purpose. It's our thing. It's our jam. We love questions, and we'll do.
Rachel, by the way, is Shannon's friend from Kansas from like way back. And when she found out that Shannon was friends with Bob, she was like, "Whoa, get out of here!" Big fan of the podcast.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Rachel. That means everything. That's all the things for us.
Someone just gifted some memberships on your channel, Bob. Let's see who it is. I think a bunch of them. I can't see though. I see a lot of sponsors who did it though. How can I see that?
Let me see.
I'm seeing a lot of sponsors, but I can't see who gave. Oh, Shiraz, she's awesome. That's an always giver. 10 memberships. 10 memberships. Thank you so much.
Adore her. Just adore her. Thank you, Shiraz. You're the best. Let's see what we got here. She rocks. She does rock. I love, like, that's my favorite thing, frankly, is when people gift memberships, because it's like, it's just super thoughtful, you know?
Absolutely. Facts. Brooklyn says, we had a long day of testimony, and literally every single one of you made today so much better. Even you, Karen. So thank you guys.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Well, she did pay. She did give me some super stickers.
Oh, yeah,
she paid me
that's true.
3 separate ones, and it said, "Did you see your email? Did you see your email? Did you see your email?"
She pays to hate you. That's good.
It does.
Good. That's excellent. That's excellent. Let's see.
Did anyone have a question, by the way? I think someone asked what your opinion was on the Apple.
So today, and I don't know if you guys caught it earlier, if you weren't on the earlier thread, the state as of last night, and I'm going to read this, the state of on Tuesday said it was also seeking lesser charges related to the initial counts. They are, for count 1, which was the death of Isaac Schumann, also consider second-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless homicide, and second-degree reckless homicide. So the last two are more akin to, as I was saying, the voluntary manslaughter, where you just have a reckless disregard for human life. The punishment's much less severe than either first degree or second degree. And then for counts 2 through 5, which are the stabbings of AJ Martin, Riley Madison, Anthony Tony Carlson, and Dante Carlson, also consider attempted second degree homicide, first degree recklessly endangering safety, and second degree recklessly endangering safety. So they gave the jury options, which was, in my estimation, very smart. I think that they were going to be very, very hard pressed to get a first degree intentional homicide verdict. To be honest with you, man, I just thought like that was a bridge I was not willing to cross. You know, it's like you look at it, you look at the end results, and it's impossible not to take into consideration that a young man lost his life. You know, and we're used to having someone pay for that. You know what I mean? Especially in a situation where really no one had clean hands. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the kid certainly didn't have clean hands. He certainly didn't have clean hands. And it ended up the worst way possible. So I think that ultimately I probably would go for one of those, one of the reckless. You know, I think that he went overboard. You know, I think the fact that he didn't brandish it, I think if he would have brandished it, like, hey, I got a knife, step back, you know, like done some shit like that, that might have like stopped the entire thing from going down. You know, but I also am cognizant of it's impossible for me to put myself in his position at that moment in time. And like a lot of people, it was funny. I had like, when we had done our live after you had to go pick up your kid, you know, I was talking about like in that type of situation. And Jay, I don't know if you were ever like in a fight when you were in like high school or whatever, you know, but like time does slow down. It like time does not operate in the same fashion. I mean, if you were to time it on a watch, it would obviously be the same amount of time, but in your mind, everything, like, and I don't know if slow down is the right word. It's just, it becomes like time moves differently. You know what I'm saying? So he actually testified to the same thing. He's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like time slowed down. And then the prosecutor turned around. And he's like, oh, well, if time slowed down, you had more time to think about things. I'm like, no, it's not how it works. You don't have actual time. It's just things seem to be moving in slow motion. It's like one time when I was like 12, we found like an abandoned treehouse, like deep in this field behind my cousin's house, like way deep. There was like a little, kind of like a little grove of trees, like the kind of sitting beyond it. And we're like, wow, cool. It had like and it was like a big elm or like a oak tree, and it had, you know, where the branches separate, and then there was this area. Oh, thanks. Cam brought my lunch. Oh, what kids? Oh,
What kids?
what good kids. Thanks, guys. What?
What's up, Scout?
She tried to duck in. You can say hi. There's no cord on right now.
Hi, Jay.
How are you?
Good.
Guess what? This trial that your dad and I are watching goes to like 5:30ish, like 4:30 your time. So I was saying that means one of these days we got to order a pizza with pineapple,
Wow.
and we could both try it.
It's going for.
The challenge, the on the air pineapple.
We need to make a day, Jay.
We'll come up with a day. We'll find a day.
And it'll be perfect. Like a break like this will be a perfect time. We both try it and see if we like it.
Scout is good, Ned. Scout is great. She's in a play, Anastasia. She's got a pretty good part in it.
Nice.
It's a middle school play, so she.
Whoa.
Allison's yelling, perform a line.
No.
And Scout's like, no.
What's your part? What part?
I was the only sixth grader that got one.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Who are you going to be?
I'm young Anastasia in the play Anastasia.
Nice. When's the performance?
End of this month.
It's from April 26th to April 28th.
Yeah.
How many days do you have rehearsal a week?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
Except like it's every other Monday, I think, that I don't have it.
which is fortunate because she has softball on Mondays.
Yeah, but I either have to leave like 20 minutes late, or I have to wear my softball uniform, or I'd be like a couple minutes late to softball.
Yeah,
Our daughter Sloan is going to be in High School Musical. They're doing a rendition of that, so she's going to be in that. But it turned out it's funny, she wanted to play softball too, but the conflict, she just couldn't end up doing both.
it's hard. It's hard.
It is, because it's so much, both of them. Either it's a lot of practice or a lot of like, it's really so good for you, Scott. That's good for you to do both. That's a lot of work. What do you got there? What are you eating?
Subway.
What's your preferred Subway order there, Scott?
I have an Italian bread, a 6-inch with salami, pepperoni, American cheese, toasted with
Mustard.
I love it. My go-to is salami and cheese. I've never tried with pepperoni, although I would probably like that. But here's my rule, and I'm going to give you guys both this rule.
Yeah, I just started eating it with pepperoni too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's a great snack? If you just take a nice little salami, like boar's head salami and American cheese, make it into a little roll. It's a great snack.
I do that.
We do that, man.
There we go. Here's
We're
my
big.
rule.
We're big salami and pepperoni roll people.
We put it on little toothpicks.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We have them.
If we have them, yeah.
My rule with sandwiches, I talked about this the other day. My rule with a sandwich: if I'm eating a sandwich, I must have a chip with it. I must pair it with the potato chip. However, my rule, see, that's the problem. My rule is the chip has to be like a Ruffles or a Lay's. It can't be a flavored chip. It's got to be a plain
He likes a
chip.
potato
Because if
chip.
it's a flavored chip, I feel like it messes up the sandwich taste. I need like a plain. I prefer Utz Ripples.
Usually, what me and Cameron get are these what are they called, Dad?
What?
Oh, Sun Chips. We usually get Sun Chips.
Oh, Sun Chips. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Sun Chips.
Really?
By the way, folks, we're just waiting. We're on break. If you're coming in here and like, why are they talking about sandwiches?
And why is Bob eating?
Why is Bob eating? They're on break. We are keeping an eye on it, folks.
Yeah, I wasn't able to squeeze my lunch in. I did watch the state's closing in the other case during the break.
What's your sandwich, Bob?
I got a salad.
Salad.
Dad, you know they have wraps now?
They do?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, would you do me a solid and
Get a
grab me
napkin.
please? Thank
Do
you.
you guys have Jersey Mike's by you?
Oh yeah.
To me, Jersey Mike's, their bread is so good. I mean, typically I'll go to a deli, but I like a good Jersey Mike's sub, man.
Me and my sister don't like Jersey Mike's because they don't toast their sandwiches.
I love Jersey Mike's. When they first opened the first one, because I lived in Philly with Allie right when we got out of law school. We opened our first practice in Philadelphia. And that was my first experience having Philadelphia cheesesteaks, right? Obviously, I love that sandwich. It was delicious. I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten. Because here we have Italian beefs. That's kind of like our regional sandwich. So, and you could not get like a delicious Philly cheesesteak in Chicago anywhere. There was like a couple of spots that claimed that they were Philly guys that opened the sandwich shops here. So when Jersey Mike's first opened, and Alice and I were with the kids over at Great America, because that was the only one. It was up like way north, and we went. I was like blown away. I'm like, oh my God.
Dad, can you move that?
I'm like, I'm going to. Why, you want to see yourself?
No, I want to see milk.
Ham.
No, milk.
So I decided, I was super close. I like went through the process. I'm like, this is going to explode. This is like 6 years, 7, maybe 10 years ago. We own. I'll finish that story later.
Council, while we're waiting for the jurors, we will take up on the record at the conclusion of today, after the jurors can dismiss, the issue of further stipulated exhibits, and I'll bring that up before we conclude for the day.
I gotta go let my dogs in. I will be right back.
Oh, well, Libby B, I see that you gifted 5 DD memberships. Thank you so much. Aw, family hug.
All rise.
And Jen, a member for 3 months. Aw, family hug. What's up, Sleuthy? See, I just saw Sleuthy get in, and that was from 249, maybe 349. Yeah, I'm way behind on this, on my chat. It's weird. Scout loves you all too. I can say that with absolute assurity.
All juries present and accounted for.
Very well. Please be seated.
Back to Tiny Detective. Let's see what he's got to say.
All right, we're back on the record after our mid-afternoon break. Mr. Wood, we'd like to continue the examination of the witness, and I'll remind the witness, of course, you're still under oath. Mr. Wood.
Thank you. And I need to just take up a couple issues for clarification of the record. Detective, you spoke earlier about searching Lori Vallow's residence.
Correct.
And yeah, you stated the address. What city was that address located in?
Rexford.
And what state is Rexford in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Detective, as part of your investigation, did you ever help execute a search warrant on on Chad Daybell's residence?
I did. I executed a couple of warrants.
Okay. When was the first one?
January 3rd of 2020.
And Chad Daybell's residence, what county is that located in?
Madison County.
What's his address?
202 North, 1900 East.
And is that, and what city is it listed as?
It's listed as Rexford. It's actually in Fremont County, but it's listed correct.
Okay, so just to be clear, did you just misspeak when you said it was in
I did. I mean, say it correct.
Okay, and it's what county?
Fremont County.
All right, thank you. And you testified you did a search there on January 3rd.
Correct.
Was that search in aid of another investigative agency?
It was
Which agency was that?
Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
And do you recall what the purpose of that search was for?
I don't recall what the probable cause or the reason for the search was at that time.
So you didn't write the affidavit.
So,
Did you have any other occasion where you served a search warrant on Chad Daybell's residence?
yes, June 9th, 2020.
When you served that warrant on June 9th, 2020, what time did you arrive at Chad Daybell's residence?
Roughly about 7 in the morning.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibit 10A. Detective, are you familiar with State's Exhibit 10A?
Yes, I am.
What does it purport to be?
It's a aerial image taken from Google Earth of the defendant Daybell's property.
So, do you know who prepared that image?
I did.
Right. But you didn't take the picture
No.
because it's a satellite photo, correct?
Correct.
Have you been, I believe you testified you have been to Chad Daybell's residence.
Yes.
Have you walked around the grounds of Chad Daybell's residence?
Yes.
And have you been inside his home?
I haven't.
Are you familiar with the landmarks of that residence in the yard?
Yes, I am.
And are you familiar with, you're familiar with the general layout of the yard and what's located in it?
That's correct.
And is this image an accurate representation of Chad Daybell's residence?
Yes.
Your Honor, for demonstrative purposes only, the state moves to admit Exhibit 10A.
Any objection?
Objection, one year and any objection.
Right.
Now, sir, approximately how much property are we talking about?
I couldn't tell you the amount of property.
And the prosecuting attorney mentioned the yard. Now, I believe the yard usually means where there's grass. So you're familiar with what's on the grass, is that right?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, and I'll represent to you that there's about 4.5 acres out there. Does that sound close to me, Henry?
Okay.
Okay. And I'll represent to you that there's an area that's known as the yard, that's a lawn area, that you would mow with a lawnmower. Are you following me?
Your Honor, this is testimonial.
Yeah, Judge, he says that he's familiar with the yard.
Well, I understand. I think we're going into cross-examination now, which will be permitted. The question is on an issue of foundation or other objection, whether or not the exhibit gets admitted. So, Mr. Pryor, what would be the foundational objection?
He hasn't testified, Judge, that he's familiar with pasture or 3.5, 4 acres of property that go beyond the yard.
All right, response, Mr. Wood?
I think the question was adequate.
All right, based on foundation and with the testimony of the witness about his knowledge of this property, court will overrule the foundation objection, allow the exhibit 10A to be admitted, and you can delve into those issues if you'd like on cross, Mr. Pryor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'll publish that shortly. Detective, so you testified that you executed a search warrant on June 9th, 2020.
Correct.
What time of the day did you arrive at Chad Daybell's residence?
Roughly 7 in the morning.
And was it only the Rexburg police or were there other agencies involved?
At that time, there was Fremont County and Rexburg City Police that went to his house at 7.
And did any other agencies help you that day on that search?
They did.
Who were they?
The FBI ERT team, which is the evidence recovery team, the Attorney General's office, Fremont County. I believe that's it.
Okay. And you testified you got there about 7 o'clock.
Yes.
When you first arrived, who was with you?
So I do apologize. Could I have a quick sidebar with counsel? I'd like to discuss this exhibit briefly.
Sidebar, folks. Get the shot emojis out.
Sidebar.
We got about 25 minutes, folks. Joanne gifted a membership to Sky Troop. Thank you so much, Joanne. You are awesome.
Joanne.
Always giver, like Bob likes to say.
She is an always giver and a delightful human being to boot.
Facts. Straight facts.
Yes.
Thank you, Joanna, and Mr. Jedi, who also watches with us, her husband.
Mr. Jedi. Let's see. So yeah, I had Lily B gifted 5 glorious memberships out. Our wonderful, illustrious, brilliant Mandy has been a member for 6 glorious months. Mandy, you know how much we love you, which is very, very
much. Best, yes.
Let's see. I had another one. I want to make sure I thank all the folks. Oh, we have a little break. Maybe that was it. Oh no, Shannon L also gifted 5 DD memberships.
Nice.
So thank all of you for that. we're really appreciative, and I'm sure that the subs that were gifted memberships are equally thankful. So thank you for that generosity.
Yeah, I got KTG who gifted a membership. Thank you. Deja, one of our awesome mods, JBN for Life member for 5 months. Amy Albers, who's awesome, gave us a $5 super sticker. Said, "Tell Karen I'm Hispanic and approve the use of the P word on your channel." LOL. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, Karen. Take that. Trying to speak for the whole United States of America. We all love puta. What's up, puta? Don't make me slip into my Scarface shit, man. I'll do it. Do it too. Right here during Chad Daybell's trial.
By the way, Bob, I was thinking we got like a couple, like two. How many months till? We got a few more months, and we're going to
That's
Denver.
Right. Denver. Did you decide? Are you bringing the smalls or no?
No, well, I possibly Sloan. The boys are with their mom, but I think we might just be me and Shannon.
Adulting, doing some
Yeah.
adulting.
What about you? Are you gonna bring them?
I don't know yet. Sorry, I just took a bite of a churro. And it's super stale. Oh no.
But yeah, folks, if you're in the Denver area, July, I think it's 10th or 12th. By the way, I think I will be I'm going to be doing a panel on the Adelsons. If you're there, let me check the date. I believe it's the 12th through the 14th. Me and Shannon, Bob and Allie, we're going to be there. It's a great. True Crime Paranormal Festival. It's awesome. Lainey runs it. She's awesome. So
it's amazing, and there's a great crowd of creators that are going. So if you guys are in and around Denver, you should definitely come hang by. If you're close to Denver, like in a neighboring state, you should definitely come through. It's great, and it's different than CrimeCon, Jay, because it's much more intimate, meaning that people can come up and chat with us. We're usually hanging out like around the bar at the hotel, just kind of gabbing, enjoying each other's company. So it's really a great event. Tons of panels with amazing people. I think that Sarah Turney is a keynote speaker.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Yep. Julie Murray's coming.
Yes.
She'll have a panel. Ton of great people. Josh Hallmark from True Crime Bullshit.
Here we go. While we're waiting here, I'll make
there
sure
it is.
We got. Yeah, there you go. Sarah Turney, Crime Weekly.
Crime Weekly. It was a huge get. Gen Y, Canadian True Crime. The Peripheral is Justin, his side pod from Gen Y. Wine and Crime. They're amazing. It'd be great. Trill Went Cold, who I'd absolutely love. That's Robin Warder. Is a wonderful guy. Crime Lines, who's one of my dear friends. She's just like, when I got into the business, she was just so gracious to me. And her name is Charlie Worrell. She's an amazing human being. And then, of course, True Crime Cases with Lainey. And then Crime Lines and Consequences is Charlie and my dear friend, Eric Carter Landine, who has his own pod.
Discussing that last.
Yeah, folks, so it's going to be good.
Buy tickets.
Your direct examination of the witness.
Your Honor, could I have the court reporter read back the last question I asked?
It's kind of a half question. When you first arrived, who was, the question before that was, and you testified you got there about 7 o'clock, answer yes.
That's right. Thank you. May I proceed?
Yes.
Detective, when you arrived around 7 o'clock, who was with you at that time?
There was myself, Lieutenant Ronball at the time, Detective Kai Kamani, and Detective Bruce Madigan, and also Detective Dave Stubbs.
All right. So can you go back to those individuals and say who they were employed by real quick?
Lieutenant Ronball with Rexburg Police. Detective Stubbs is also with Rexburg Police. Detective Kai Kamanu and Matt Lee are both Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
And just for clarity of the record, is Detective Ball still with the Rexford Police?
No.
Okay, and what organization is he with now?
Madison County Sheriff's Office.
And Detective Kai Kamani, is he still with Fremont County?
No, he's also with Madison County Sheriff's Office.
All right, that's just for clarity, thank you. So when you got there, what did you do?
Initially, we knocked on the front door. We made contact with Mark Daybell, who's the defendant Daybell's son. He answered the door. He was eating a bowl of cereal. It was early in the morning. We informed Mark of why we were there and that we needed to speak with his dad. He stated his dad was still asleep, and we showed him a copy of the warrant, and he proceeded to let us in and show us where his father was.
And did you make contact with Mr. Daybell that morning?
We did. He showed us that he was sleeping in bedroom above a loft, above the garage. So we walked up the stairs, just a few of us. Detective Kai Kamanu and Matt Lee stayed back. We informed Chad that we were there and needed to speak with him. He was still asleep. He asked if we could get some clothes on. We allowed him to do that and came downstairs with us.
And did you provide a copy of the warrant to Mr. Daybell?
We did.
And what happened next?
Mr. Daybell asked to speak with his attorney. We were standing in the kitchen area. He had a seat in the kitchen. And his attorney at the time was Mark Means. So we allowed him to speak with his attorney. At that time, Mr. Means wanted to speak with one of the investigators.
Judge, I'm going to object at this point.
That's fine, Your Honor. We'll stop that. Very well. After Mr. Daybell spoke with his attorney, what was the next step in your portion of the investigation?
I allowed Mr. Daybell to sit in the front room. He sat on his recliner closest to the door. His children sat on the couch in the same room. I gave Mr. Daybell a copy of the warrant, and he read through the search warrant while sitting in his recliner. He asked if he needed to leave the residence while we conducted business. We informed Mr. Daybell he didn't need to leave the residence, but if he chose to stay, he would be accompanied by an officer just for safety purposes.
After you had that conversation, what did you do?
Mr. Daybell asked if he could make a phone call. And at that point, he was allowed to go outside and make a phone call.
And where did you go?
I went outside with him.
And what did you do after that?
Mr. Daybell wanted to sit in the vehicle that was parked backed in on the west side of the house. There's a west driveway. So I allowed him to sit inside the vehicle, windows rolled up, and make a phone call. I stood in the grass area close to the vehicle.
At this time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask to publish State's Exhibit 10A.
You may.
Detective, do you have that pointer?
Yes, I do.
Can you point out where the front door of Mr. Daybell's residence is? In that image, or where it would locate?
There's two doors. I don't know which one Mr. Daybell used as a front door. I can tell you there's a door right here and a door on the back side.
Okay.
So Mr. Daybell was roughly, that's not the vehicle he was in, but it's roughly parked in the same area. And I was standing here in the grassy area.
Earlier, there was some talk about the yard or the grassy area. Can you just outline for the jury where, I'm going to call it the grass area of the yard, is located on that image?
The grass area is right through here.
And is that a driveway behind the house as well?
Yes, there's a driveway here.
And to the just east of that, what is that? Is that grass as well?
There was grass here. There's a little shop area. There's a shed here. And this is, I guess you would call pasture area,
Did you observe any livestock there?
you know.
Detective, you testified. If you can show again where Mr. Daybell was and where you were in relation to him when he went outside to make a phone call.
So Mr. Daybell was sitting in a vehicle fairly close to this location. He was sitting in the driver's seat. He was backed in. I was standing here just observing Mr. Daybell make the phone call.
And did you observe his behavior while he was making that phone call?
I did.
What was the nature of the behavior? What was he doing?
Initially, he was just on the phone, and I was watching him. But as the call progressed, he had the phone in his right hand and was intently looking over his right shoulder. And so I found it odd. I wanted to see what he was looking at. So I maneuvered myself to see what he was so intently looking at.
And when you did that, did you attempt to orient yourself so that you would be looking in the same direction you perceived him looking at?
That's correct.
What did you see when you did that?
So with the vehicle backed up here, he was looking over his right shoulder in this direction. I stood over here, kind of in front towards the roadway to see exactly what he was looking at. And when I looked that way, I saw this area, this pond area.
Okay. Now, let's look at that pond real quick. If you can just kind of run the pointer around it so the jury's sure where it is.
Right here.
And
There's a tree right here,
thank you.
and then a pond.
And when, at the time you noticed Mr. Daybell looking over there, was there any activity going on over there?
There was. So like I testified, we got there about 7 o'clock. When we made contact with Mr. Daybell and the scene was secure, we radioed for the other units that were staged about 1.5 miles down the road that they can come start marking things off in the search warrant. So as time passed, Mr. Daybell was reading the warrant on his recliner. While he was doing that, there were ERT members and other officers that started marking off different sections in the backyard that we wanted to search.
Now, Detective, just for clarity of the record and for the jury, I believe you defined ERT earlier, but can you tell the jury again what ERT is?
Evidence recovery team
And who are they associated with?
with the FBI.
Now, Detective, were you the lead of executing the search warrant that day?
But I wasn't in charge of the search warrant.
So, and just for clarity again, what did you see when you looked in the direction you thought Mr. Daybell was looking at? Or I guess, what activity did you see?
There were some ERT members marking off a section under this tree right next to on the east side of the pond area. So right in this general location.
What did you do next in your part of the search that day?
I was tasked with going into the backyard and sifting through what we determined was a fire pit.
Can you show the jury on that map or on that picture where the fire pit is located? And you said,
I apologize, but for the record, will you have the witness please reference where that pointer just went somehow, so there's a full representation of record?
yes, detective, if you can point there again and describe what it is you're pointing at, where it is you're pointing.
The fire pit area, which there's like a little tree here. It's just to the north of the tree.
Yes,
Is that adequate, Your Honor?
it is.
So you said you went north of the fire pit. Exactly what did you do?
So a few of us were tasked with getting dirt and anything that was in the fire pit and putting it through a sifter. So that's originally what I was tasked to do by the team leader of the ERT team.
About approximately what time were you doing that?
I'd say roughly probably 9 of them at that point.
Who was the team leader of the ERT team?
His name is Steve Daniels.
And how long did you sit in the fire pit?
I would say probably 35, 45 minutes.
And so when you sifted, what kind of tool did you use to do that?
It was a woody sifter. We would scoop shovels full and put it in the sifter, have wooden handles. You would just shake back and forth. And any larger debris would stay on the top of the wire screen.
And did you find anything of interest while you were sifting in the fire pit area?
Oh boy.
Not at that time, no.
Did you move to another area of the search?
I did.
When approximately did you do that?
You asked for a time?
Approximately, yes.
Probably 10-ish maybe.
And why did you move?
There were ERT members and some other members of law enforcement that had marked off a place under this tree next to the pond. They had called and wanted some other people over there to help with that area, so I left the fire pit area and responded to this section right here next to the tree and pond.
And what did you observe when you got over there?
I observed ERT marking off, they had already marked off probably a 6x6 section. The best way I can describe it is there was taller shrubs in the middle of the 6x6 section. It looked like there was just a little bit of grass, probably the length of sod, and some dirt protruding through the grass, but there were no taller shrubs like on the outside of the section.
What happened next?
The ERT team began excavating that site. They removed a top layer of soil, took off the shrub and the top level of dirt.
And what did you see under that?
At that point, you could see what appeared to be 3 large white rocks. And as soon as they did that, we could start to smell
Trigger warning.
the odor that, through my training experience as a decomposing body.
Let's talk about that. Have you, on other occasions through your work, smelled the decomposing body?
Unfortunately, yes, I have.
And is there a distinctive smell to you that you associate with that?
There is.
And it's your testimony that as that first layer of ground was lifted off, you began to smell that.
That's correct.
What did you observe next?
After they slowly and methodically dug around the white rocks, they were removed. ERT took pictures and measurements. They continued to dig down. Right below the layer of rocks were 2 pieces of thin wood paneling. Just right below the rocks.
Were you still able to smell that smell you had described?
Yes, as they dug down, it got stronger.
Were those boards removed?
They were.
What did you observe after that?
So after the boards were removed, you could see the discoloration of dirt. So you had dry dirt, and then underneath the boards was like a wet, moist type dirt. So it was pretty obvious there, the distinction between the soil.
Then what happened?
They continued to brush away the wet soil. And at that point, you could start to see a black round object start to protrude through the dirt.
And describe that object. About what size was it?
Initially, it just looked like a littler black round object. They dug down further carefully, and it appeared to take shape of the crown of a human head.
What did you do after that, or what did you observe once that was uncovered?
So once the black round object was uncovered, at that point, the ERT team leader, Steve Daniels, got a small, sharp instrument and made a slit in the black plastic. He kind of opened that up just a little bit, not to damage or manipulate any of the evidence. But underneath the black plastic was another white layer of plastic. So he used that same instrument and got a slit down the white plastic and kind of opened it up. And at that point, it looked to be brown human hair.
After that was discovered, what happened next?
As soon as that was discovered, we received information on the radio that the defendant, Daybell, was leaving his daughter's residence, which was catty corner to his residence, at a high rate of speed. And at that point, Mr. Daybell was pulled over and subsequently placed in custody.
Did you go back to the site where what appeared to be a human head was located?
I did. When I got back to what we ended up calling burial site, they continued to excavate around that black plastic. And after they excavated and took the dirt off the plastic, it revealed what appeared to be a small body wrapped in black plastic with duct tape around it.
Thank you. Your Honor, I know the time.
Yes.
So David, let's stop for the day.
All right, we are going to try to adhere to this court schedule, so it is 3:30. This time then, I am going to complete trial for the day. I've got one additional issue I'll take up outside the presence of the jurors. However, the jurors will be excused here momentarily. As you're leaving for the evening, then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as I will try to remember to tell you each and every day, or when we leave breaks, longer breaks, please do not discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Please don't do anything to investigate this case. If you see any media coverage of the case, please try to avoid that so you can remain impartial. And with that in mind, that will conclude our first day of evidence. So we'll allow the jurors to be excused at this time.
All rise, please.
Are they addressing something after the jury leaves?
Yeah, quickly. So they stopped right on time, right at exactly 3:30 their time.
I like a prompt court.
A prompt court. The judge. Good old
They are
judge.
they are not sequestered. However, I believe they will be if they get to the death penalty portion. I think.
Yeah, that's good for the jury. If you can avoid sequestration, it's preferable. It's a lot. It's a huge ask for a jury, especially for a
8 to 10
trial.
weeks.
Yeah. I mean, that's. Could you imagine?
No.
Man.
Detective, if you want to go ahead and step down off the stand, we're going to just argue with motion. Council, this isn't necessarily a motion, it's just what I want to get on the record in terms of stipulated
All right, guys. I'm trying the volume booster. Tell me if it's any better.
evidence the parties have agreed to. I'll note that back on February 27th, the court received a pleading stipulation on introduction of specific evidence. The list contains 74 separate items the parties have determined will be admitted at trial by stipulation. And let me just first begin there and inquire from the state, is this still an accurate representation of evidence that's going to be proffered and admitted by stipulation to your understanding?
To the state's understanding, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Pryor, you did review that before it was filed. You signed as well. Is it still your understanding that those listed items on the pleading are not going to be objected to if offered by the defense?
And by the state judge, that's correct, yes.
Very well. All right, so counsel, I am going to then indicate on the record that those particular items of evidence are to be admitted by stipulation. The one thing in keeping our record straight is that those are listed out in a 1 through 74 listing, but those do not correspond with the evidence markings in the case. In other words, those are not the exhibit numbers or letters that will be admitted in trial. So I'll keep the list running, but each one of those, of course, needs to be independently marked and admitted with independent trial stickers so the exhibits are kept straight in the record. And our clerk will assist with that as they come in, but I assume all of those are going to be pre-marked and admitted. And if you wish to reference them on the pleading throughout the trial, you can do that, but we need to make clear that all those exhibits are not. In other words, the pleading does not correspond to the actual exhibit numbers of the trial. Is that the state's understanding?
Yes, Your Honor. And maybe if I may ask for some clarification from the court.
Yes.
We do have in here, one of the stipulations covers essentially documents that are in relation. If we have a business record affidavit or a custodian of record affidavit, then we would stipulate that the documents covered or the exhibits covered would be admitted. Does the court want us to introduce those business record affidavits or custodian of record affidavits as their own exhibit?
I'll let defense weigh in, but I think that makes the most sense to me. Separate affidavits should be admitted as separate exhibits, so those can be tracked down later if someone's referencing the record.
Judge, they're stipulated exhibits, so I'll let the prosecutor decide how they want to hit.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor, because I think at the end of the day, the affidavit itself is stipulated to, but really what matters is the content and documents covered by that affidavit or what's actually going to be admitted as evidence. So, but we have those if the court would like those admitted as well for the record.
Yeah, so they'd be separate. The affidavit itself, laying foundation for the other exhibits would be a separate exhibit.
And Judge, will you clarify?
Yes.
Judge, you will note that of my 54 exhibits that the state has agreed and stipulated to admit, the individual exhibits are the same numbers as the stipulation that we put on the record. So in other words, number one on the stipulated list makes mention of some phone cell right information. The actual exhibit itself is the same number that I've been offering. It just happens to be the contents within that phone cell right. So my numbers match up corresponding to the stipulation that the court has exactly. And I did that for ease of convenience for everyone, Judge.
Okay, and if they do match, we'll just reference that. If they don't, I guess the point is the stipulation itself is not any kind of controlling document as to what the exhibits actually will be marked as in the record. So we'll mark each one as it comes in on the record and make clear that this is simply a reference, basically. If they correspond, they do. If not, clarify that, and it should be admitted in terms they're offered as your evidence is introduced. So that will conclude then my concerns on stipulated evidence. Is there anything else we need to bring up this afternoon before we break for the day from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, anything further from the defense?
Judge, just briefly, the state and I will meet about that issue that we had at the sidebar, just the last one, to discuss the parameters.
Okay, I would suggest counsel will want to start with further testimony at 8:30. So if parties want to be available at 8 tomorrow morning, we can take up any matters outside the jury's presence before we get the jurors back in the courtroom tomorrow morning. So that'll be our schedule for tomorrow. Okay, thanks everyone in attendance today for complying with the court's conduct order. You can be excused and we'll conclude trial for the day. Thank you.
All right, folks, that is it for today.
Woo! It was a slow day in court, but you know, the reason for that is that at the beginning of trials, they have to get in all the evidence and they have to lay the foundation for that stuff. And it's time consuming and not riveting testimony for certain, but it's a necessary evil. So, you know, I expect it'll pick up in terms of kind of getting to nuts and bolts of the testimony once they get all that evidence in. And, you know, they'll have to do that with various witnesses. So we can expect more of it over the next weeks. But today we had a particularly intense period of about an hour where they were trying to, you know, move stuff into evidence. So they were doing it in groups, which frankly is better than them doing it kind of like sporadically throughout a witness's entire testimony. Just kind of get it all done, lay that foundation, get that evidence in. That way the jury can view the evidence themselves and it can be published to the jury. So I anticipate that it'll pick up tomorrow. And it'll be interesting with cross is always interesting. You know, sometimes directs can be a little slower. I typically like cross examinations from both sides, not just the defense. I like the prosecution's cross of defense witnesses and vice versa. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, and if that volume booster worked at the end there, I'll just use it again tomorrow. It seemed like people said they could hear it better, so if that helps, then I'll use that tomorrow.
For sure. And little Nick Mew update. They've released the jury for the day. No verdict came in. I think they were probably, let's see, there are times. So it looks like they let them go around 4:30. So they were deliberating for about 4 hours. So, which is good. I like to see jurors deliberating. That's their job. It's their duty. Like quick verdicts are always, you wonder whether or not they discussed anything. I mean, sometimes there's nothing to discuss. You know what I mean? This case, there's definitely things to discuss. So I'm glad to see that they're doing.
And honestly, even if tomorrow it comes in, we can always just pause and go quickly and then go back. We don't have to.
I think that's what we should do. If we get word, because we've got Dizzy and Mandy are keeping an eye on it for us, so they will. They'll notify us if it goes down, and we can keep an eye. And then when the jury gets back in there, we could flip over there real quick, see what's what, and then pop back here. And not miss a thing.
So that's what we'll do tomorrow, folks. So tomorrow at 10:30, I think, and then we'll see you guys. Thank you all so much for everyone who's been here. Thank you, mods. As always, we love you guys. And thank you for all the super chats and all that stuff. And
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you, mods. Thanks for hanging with us all day. Remember, if you my subs, if you haven't subbed to Jay, now's the time. Get it done.
Mine. So, and if you're on the replay crew, just check in the description or in the chat. All the links are there. Sub up. We love you guys. Yeah, and in 20 minutes, catch Justice. Raul and Jessica, check them out. So thanks, everybody, and have a good night. We'll